All right, chat. Without further ado, we got how a pilot hijacked a plane. Let's get it. Let's go.
At 9:27 a.m. on the 24th of March, 2015, a plane got in contact with the Marseille en route control center. It was an Airbus A320-211, operated by Germanwings, headed from Barcelona to Dusseldorf. Everything seemed normal.
Who in the chat just said, when is the fuck a fan contest? Bro, my chat, dude. Like, genuinely. That's never been a thing. It won't be a thing, and it's not a thing. Dude, like, that contest is never happening.
The captain read back the air traffic controller's clearance at 9:30, allowing him to fly to an en route waypoint. Only a few minutes later, something was off. The control center in Marseille saw that the altitude for the aircraft was around 30,000 feet, almost 2,000 feet lower than the original cruise altitude, and declining. Marseille contacted the plane and asked what altitude the plane was cleared for.
See, like I said, like, this is my worst nightmare. Before I even reacted to this video, I literally told you guys, like, plane flying is my worst nightmare. I actually couldn't imagine what I would do in a plane hijacking situation or, like, bad weather. I'd probably shit a brick. You know what I mean? I've been fortunate enough to never actually have to go through, like, a plane ride where there's just, like, crazy turbulence. Like, we're talking, like, Megan Thee Stallion, Kim Kardashian on a Friday night kind of turbulence. I mean, and hopefully, you know, pray to God that I never have to go through that kind of stuff. But it's just, like, my worst nightmare, dude.
But they received no response at all. Over the next 30 seconds, Marseille tried to contact the flight crew 2 more times. No answer. At 9:34, the control center tried a different frequency, but again, no response. From 9:35 until 9.
Imagine being in that control room and just witnessing that plane, like, go further and further down, and you can only assume the worst with, like, no communication, no answering, no nothing. Like, you can only assume that they're about to perish right in front of your eyes. That must be, like, so stressful.
And 39, the Marseille control center tried to contact the flight crew multiple times over different frequencies. An air traffic controller from the French air defense system also tried, as well as another aircraft. But each time, no response from Germanwings flight 9525.
It's probably because someone's got airplane mode on. You know, I actually learned that the other day. You guys are going to call me a muffin for this, a loaf of bread, a watermelon, a walnut, a pigeon, whatever you're going to call me for it. I didn't actually know that airplane mode did something. And go ahead and throw the stones at me, crucify me if you will. I always thought that the, you know, turn on the airplane mode propaganda. I thought it was propaganda. I thought it was propaganda and the government was trying to plant chips in our head and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just kidding about the chips in our head, but I didn't know that it actually, like, interfered with communications and the plane and stuff.
At 9:40, radar contact was lost. The French air traffic controllers triggered a distress phase, declaring that the aircraft and its occupants were in imminent danger and required immediate assistance.
Okay, genuine question though. What the fuck do you do if they require immediate assistance? Like, what is, like, I want to know, like, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to find out, but what goes down in that scenario? Like, what are you going to do? Like, fly another plane next to that plane and then, like, parachute onto the plane, like some Mission Impossible bullshit? Like, I mean, I'm sure if you employ Tom Cruise to do it, he would somehow get it done and probably, like, you know, throw himself out of a couple moving vehicles here and there. But it's like, what do you do, bro? What do you do?
At 9:41 a.m., flight Germanwings 9525 crashed.
Bro, I thought I was about to fucking hit the... Oh my god, it did crash. Bro, I just got like triple faked out. I saw it heading into the mountains. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna fucking blow up. And then it went past. I was like, oh, it didn't blow up. And then it blew up.
Crashed into the side of a mountain in the Alps. What happened? The crash occurred on a remote mountain. Because there was no access by road, emergency crew had to be brought in via helicopter. The plane was completely destroyed. The debris field vast.
Everyone's dead. I promise you, no need for emergency crew. Everyone perished and the rest of their family tree is gone. I wouldn't even waste the time going to that crash. Like, they all died in a Nagasaki explosion, and you're like, yeah, let's send in some emergency crew, and maybe someone, by the grace of God, is living. Or maybe they're trying to, like, collect the debris and put them back together. I don't know. I mean, you know they're cooked, though.
But the pieces of the craft, small.
Wow, I will say, actually, I know I keep pausing. I'm sorry. You know, go ahead and tug me at a medium pace if you want to. I don't really care. But I don't think I've ever seen a plane crash where there genuinely is no, like, large piece of the plane. Like, dead ass, the entire thing exploded and burned up. That's crazy.
The cockpit voice and flight recorder were found in the same week, although they were both severely damaged. When flight investigators stitched together the data, a story of intentional action formed. The plane was hijacked, but not by terrorists. Let's go back.
Question, if I may. Why? Okay, I'm gonna secrete everywhere. Why is it like not a thing nowadays that like pilots just lock the door? Like, is there not like some way to like manually lock the cockpit from the inside of it? I guess I could see both sides of that argument, because it's like, okay, if you are able to manually lock the cockpit from inside and someone takes it over, then they're just you know, they're in there and you can't get in there and you're cooked. But then on the other hand, like, you're not going to have that scenario as long as the two pilots get into that cockpit and then the only people who can open that door are from the inside. And I guess, like, you can make the case, like, the argument that maybe sometimes the people who are hijacking the plane probably take hostages and they're like, okay, if you don't open this door, I'm going to kill them. But it's like, dude, what do you... Oh, that's actually a good question. What do you do if you're the pilot there? Because, like, you're a pilot. Like, you're not technically, like, a public servant. I guess you're a public servant, kind of. But it's like, do you value your own life or everyone else in the planes more? Because, like, if oh, I like men. Okay, so we're going to cut that stutter out of the YouTube video. But, no, we're not. Let's actually keep it in. The viewers want to know the real me. No, but seriously, I'm sorry, I'm really yapping here. Let me get to the point. If the hijackers take a hostage, right? And they say to the cockpit, they're like, hey, if you don't open this door, we're going to slime the entire plane. Like, what do you do? I reckon they're sliming everyone anyways, so I'm probably not opening the door, and I don't know.
After the aircraft leveled off at its cruise altitude, the captain left the cockpit to go to the bathroom at 9:30. While he was in the bathroom, the plane was almost immediately set for a different altitude in the cockpit.
How so?
At 9:34, the captain came back and requested access, but he got none. The door was locked.
Oh, so
as he stood in front of that cockpit door, the captain began to understand. The co-pilot had hijacked the plane, and he had no way of getting in.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I thought they were going to say, like, some, like, random pilot got up out of his seat and then went and hijacked the plane and they couldn't get back in. Damn, it really be your own people, bro. Co-pilot hijacked it. God, that's some Mission Impossible bullshit. This is like a movie plot. This was 9/11? Stop. Wait a minute. Wait, no, there's no way. This did not happen at 9/11. Okay, hold on. Let's let the video play.
After 2001, cockpits were changed in order to protect those flying the plane from potential hijackers. To enter the cockpit, a crew member has to call the cockpit on the intercom and press the pound key on a keypad, which buzzes the cockpit. At that moment, the pilot can switch the door control from norm to unlock, and the crew member can enter. The crew is also given emergency codes, which they can use if there are concerns.
Yo, I'm sorry, I'm pausing. It really is crazy to think, like, just think about, or if you don't know, I guess you can go and, like, look it up and research it, how different airplane travel was before 2001. I mean, they would let you bring all types of bullshit in the airport. Like, you could literally pull up with an axe, but as long as it had, like, that little rubber part, they're like, yeah, bro, you're good. Like, come on through, buddy. Like, I don't think you guys understand, like, how different airplane travel was before 9/11. And it's crazy that, like, no one ever thought some shit like that was going to happen. Like, looking back on it, we can call it stupid, but, like, I don't know. That's just crazy that it took, like, that big of an event to have those kind of security measures in place.
For those in the cockpit. In that case, the crew member will use the emergency code on the keypad, triggering a 30-second timer, and the cockpit door will open for 5 seconds. However, there are situations where those in the cockpit want to override the access by the crew, like during a hijacking. In that situation, the pilots can switch the door control to lock, overriding all emergency access. And it's that mechanism that the co-pilot used to permanently lock access to the cockpit while the plane began to descend. The captain was locked out of the cockpit without any control. At 9:39, the cockpit voice recorder picked up violent blows on the cockpit door. The captain had repeatedly tried breaking in.
Genuine question for everyone in the chat and everyone who watches this on YouTube when it comes out. If you were in, like, you're a passenger in this scenario, I feel like I would actually take my chance just jumping off the plane. Because, like, you know you're cooked. Like, if you stay on that plane, you are 100% cooked. But there are, like, known cases of people jumping out of planes from that altitude and actually surviving. I don't know if you guys knew that. We actually should probably, like, react to a video that covers that. I don't know, bro. I'd also rather go out on my own terms. I would kind of, like, rather go out on my own terms. I feel like I wouldn't want to, be the victim of someone else's circumstances.
To gain access. But the cockpit door was reinforced. Made to withstand armed hijackers, the captain stood little chance. In the last minutes, the passengers, crew, and captain all knew that the plane was going down.
I wonder why he did it. I guess they were
no one survived the crash.
That's crazy.
144 passengers, 4 cabin crew, and the captain and co-pilot died. Amongst the passengers was an entire school class returning from a field trip to Spain.
It's like, dude, listen, if you ever get on a plane, and there's some, like, important or sad group of people on the plane, like a group of nuns, I mean, you're fucked. It's like, imagine someday you're getting on a plane and you turn to your right and the guy next to you says, like, hey, bro, like, I actually just invented a water-powered car instead of gas. And all you can do is, like, look forward and know that, like, some CIA, like, self-implosion bullshit is about to go down on that plane. Like, and the crazy part is that, like, this kind of stuff can happen to anybody. Like, you literally never know when it's going to happen. Like, and that's the whole thing that's, like, scary about this.
The captain, Patrick Sondenheimer, was a 34-year-old father of 2. In the aftermath, his wife set up a foundation in his name, intended to help children and young people handle grief and crisis. He had thousands of total flight hours, and his last moments were dedicated to trying to save the plane and passengers.
Also, another genuine question. Do they not have maybe, like, a couple parachutes on the plane? Like, is that ridiculous to say? Like, I thought, like, they at least had, like, 2 on every plane. I guess not, because isn't it like if you jump out of a commercial airplane, like, that the jet engine just sucks you into it? Like, gives you that crazy Gluck Gluck 3000, but it's, like, to your entire body. I could be wrong. But it's like, they should have one for everyone. I mean, it's 144 people, and I think, like, most planes are, like, 200 people nowadays, maybe even more. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know how big a parachute is, but I feel like it's definitely doable. Like, I'm surprised they don't, I guess is what I'm getting at here. Like, I feel like that's a safety feature that they should add. I don't know. Might be just
the
me.
Co-pilot was 27 years old, and from a young age, he was passionate about flying. His bedroom had posters of Airbus, Boeing, and Lufthansa, and he'd become an expert glider pilot as a child.
I don't know what
he joined Lufthansa's flight academy straight out of school, but only a few months into the program, he stopped. He was suffering from a deep depressive episode, treated with antidepressants, and spent multiple months in the care of a psychiatrist. Eventually, he received a medical recommendation declaring that he was in remission.
Okay, I think the reason why this story kind of, like, disturbs me so much and just, like, kind of scares me is because the pilot, like, usually, like, you hear about a plane hijacking, like, whatever, it's, like, some terrorist organization, it's some mentally insane person. But no, like, it literally was your own pilot. And, like, the pilot, when you get on a plane, is, like, supposed to be the person you can trust, which is why this is, like, so disturbing to me, is because, like, the pilot was the one that did that shit. Like, you would never expect it to be your own pilot.
After a few months, his student pilot license and fit-to-fly medical certificate were restored. But if he needed any more psychiatric treatment, he'd be grounded from flying.
I can't believe they let him back in the air. Like, do you blame whatever organization allowed him to get back in the air? I feel like anybody with a mental issue, like, and this is gonna kind of sound fucked, but I feel like if you have any sort of mental issue at all, you shouldn't be allowed to do this kind of stuff. And I feel like they have this with other jobs. It's like, if you have like depression or something, like you can't work certain jobs because it like impedes your ability to actually work and like operate and function. It's kind of like how they like retire air traffic controllers and pilots at the age, I think air traffic is like 56 and then pilots is 65, because they literally have such like mental decline that they can't handle being in high pressure in situations because they can't like make quick decisions like it takes with being a pilot and air traffic control.
But he continued with his training until he ran into a problem. While filling out a document required by the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration to fly at an Arizona-based, Lufthansa-operated flight school, he said that he had never been diagnosed with any mental disorder.
Yeah, and see, that's what I assumed was happening. It's like, that's the fucked thing about these kind of jobs is like, you really have to, like, I don't know how it works on the back end, but like the background checks have to be so thorough because like people can just lie. Like, you're not, I mean, okay, I was gonna say you're not legally required to disclose this kind of stuff, but you definitely are legally required to disclose this kind of shit. But it's like people can just lie. Like, there's no way of fully knowing. And it's like, especially, I'm sorry, I'm really yapping right now. Especially if the person who has these issues hasn't gone to like the doctor before. Even if you do a thorough background check, there is no way of knowing that that is going on in their own brain.
This was a lie, and he got caught. Lying on an FAA application can lead to a jail offense or the end of a flying career. But the FAA gave him a second chance.
Yeah, like why?
He admitted to depression and was accepted to go to Arizona. In 2013, he joined Germanwings, a low-budget airline owned by Lufthansa. And a year later, his depression returned. He thought he was going blind, visiting ophthalmologists and neurologists multiple times per week.
Oh my God. Not to get off on another side tangent here. Worst fear ever. Dude, I think the scariest shit in life is like dementia and Alzheimer's is like where you shake, I think. But like dementia and those like people who slowly go blind, like my vision is terrible. If I don't have contacts in, I literally can't see anything that's not 2 feet in front of me. I don't even know. Like, that is so scary to me. Like, imagine just like going through your entire life and slowly just losing the ability to see or hearing too. God, like I couldn't imagine my life not being able to see or hear.
Because he was seeing stars, halos, flashes of light, streaks, and flying insects. But the doctor's scans didn't find much. He was diagnosed with hypochondriacal disorder, as well as emergent psychosis from his family doctor.
Oh my God, and he's still flying? Jesus, Murphy. I mean, I do want to feel bad for the guy, but it's like I more am like focused on how this guy was still able to fly planes. Like, this is crazy. Like, I bet you, obviously, that some laws have probably changed since this whole situation has happened, and like there is no second chances if you have like a disease, you're cooked. But like, this is crazy to me that this is what it takes for like stuff to get changed.
And that doctor urged him to go to a psychiatric clinic, but he'd do no such thing. Instead, in January of 2015, he returned to the psychiatrist that had helped him in the first place. He received psychotherapy and went on heavy antidepressants while continuing to work and fly. From February to March, he received multiple sick notes from multiple doctors. He wasn't all right, and he wanted something to change. 4 days before the crash, he turned to his computer to understand the locking mechanism on the Airbus A320 cockpit door. On his outbound flight from Dusseldorf to Barcelona, he tested the descent settings for a moment while Sondenheimer was outside the cockpit.
Damn, this whole thing is actually like so sad and so scary at the same time. Question really quick, another side tangent. can't the government like somehow track your searches even when you think they can't? Like, you guys know those stories where like the FBI will like prevent a big like terrorist event from happening because they see people's like search history and they're like, we have to go investigate this guy. Like, I guess like I was gonna say this could apply here and like maybe they could have done that, but it's like he is a pilot and like you have to think like maybe he just wanted to like know how the locking mechanism worked. I feel like that's not an outrageous thing to search up, especially if you're a pilot. Like, I feel like that's not that crazy. It's definitely suspicious, but not that crazy.
Return flight, he used it to bring down the plane. How could this have happened? Pilots are required to do health screenings and annual checkups, but mental health is easier overlooked than physical.
True.
Since pilots operate under an honor system, they're expected to self-evaluate their health. And this can be an issue. The co-pilot was declared unfit to work by his doctor,
Big issue.
but he decided to just not tell his employer. But if someone like him is a risk to public safety, a doctor can break doctor-patient confidentiality and report him to authorities.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that didn't happen in this scenario because it's like, the only reason I know that this is a thing is because I am Catholic, and when I used to go to confession, there's like a thing where it's like whatever you tell the priest or whatever, he can't tell other people. It's like the confidentiality whole thing. But like if you are in immediate danger of yourself, or if you're like harming people, or maybe like you confess to a crime, there's like the priest can like break that or whatever, and they can tell people. I don't really know exactly how it works. Not too tapped into all that anymore. I kind of forget the rules of it. But I'm surprised that didn't happen here with this pilot. Because like I feel like if I'm that doctor, number one, I have to live the rest of my life with all of that guilt that this was on me. And like in a way, I am at fault for a plane of 150 people or however many it was dying. I don't know. But yeah.
So why didn't at least one of the multiple doctors who wrote multiple sick notes and declared him unfit to fly think that the co-pilot may have presented a risk for public safety? Enough of a risk that he couldn't be trusted to report himself. We don't know. The doctors...
It's the most simple answer. We don't fucking know. That's what I was going to say. Like, there's no way they have like a reasonable explanation for why they did that, because I don't think there is one.
May have believed the co-pilot was a risk to himself, but not to others. Being depressed does not make you a killer.
True.
Or maybe the doctors were just scared. Breaking doctor-patient confidentiality does not come without risks.
Also true.
It's even possible cultural factors could have played a role. Privacy and data protection are valued really highly in Germany. But trying to understand why doctor-patient confidentiality wasn't broken is a dilemma and issue best left to healthcare professionals and ethics professors. And unfortunately, we're YouTubers.
That's true, bro.
So we encourage you to read more.
I can honestly see both sides of like why they would and why they wouldn't. Like, yes, he poses a public like safety concern, but also I can see why they'd be afraid of like getting sued, or you know, the ethics of it. It's like, do you break it? Because like they said, being depressed doesn't automatically mean like you're a killer. But I do think it matters in this context of being a public pilot. I don't know.
About it in these articles. Nonetheless, when you're watching this today, it's important to understand that this type of incident is incredibly unlikely.
True.
In the aftermath, the European Aviation Safety Agency proposed multiple safety regulations. Psychological screening for pilots increased, and multiple airlines adopted a two-person in the cockpit at all time rule, although Lufthansa has recently phased this out. In 2015...
Why would you phase it out? I was about to say, as fucked up as this sounds, I think it's... Oh, this is going to sound crazy on camera. I think it actually is a somewhat good thing that stuff like this Okay, let me phrase this in the best way possible. I think it's somewhat of a good thing that these things happen, because like we're able to change for the future and install new laws and rules and whatever to make sure it doesn't happen again. But it's also like it's also like, damn, I wish it wouldn't have happened in the first place. Like, I feel like this is like low-key, like, common sense kind of. I wouldn't even say it's common sense. Like, I can call it common sense now because, like, obviously I just watched this video and I know about all these airplane accidents and stuff, so I don't know.
Germanwings was rebranded to Eurowings. The decision was made prior to the crash. In the end, Lufthansa compensated the families of the victims, but there are questions about whether it was enough. The families have faced losses that no money could ever heal.
Another fucked up question while we're on the topic. Do you guys think there's any, like, and I mean this in a serious way, I'm not even just saying this to, like, clip farm. Is there genuinely any amount of money that could ever bring back, like, a family member or a friend for you guys? I don't know. I think it's, like, it's an interesting question. Oh, God, this is going to sound so fucked when I say this. Oh, my God. God damn it. I really think it depends on, like, how close you are with them, and it's like, how much money are we talking? Like, I don't know. It depends on, like, how old they are, what your relationship with them was, like, who they were to you, like, mother, father, I don't know. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to cancel myself, but I think it's an interesting question to ask yourself. Like, who, like, if someone came up to you and offered you $1 billion, but in exchange you had to give up one of your family members or your friends, I mean, who are you sliming out, bro? Be honest. Be honest with me. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like on it as well as subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to do daily uploads now, so if you guys want to watch any of my other content, if you found this video interesting, I'm going to leave all of those videos right up here. And if you guys haven't already hit that subscribe button, I'm going to leave that subscribe button right up here. I love you guys. Thank you for every single one of you guys for tuning into the video today, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.